input function. Beta, in input function what we are going to do is we are going to take input from the user. For example, we are writing a is equals to input, enter a number. Okay, then it is going to take input. Now in input function, if you are not defining the data type here, then it is the wish of your Python ideally that let me tell you Python ideally also here. Beta, Python's interactive mode works as an ideally, and the full form of your ideally is integrated development and learning environment. Okay, now this Python ideally will decide whether to take this input as a string or a numerical data type like integer or float. Okay, so if you have to define that you want your data to be considered as an integer only, then what you have to write, a is equals to int, and then you have to write input, enter a number. Now the ideally will take this as an integer only. You can use float also, okay, you can use str also. So it depends, you can define or you cannot define, but if you want to make sure that your data is treated in that data type only, then you have to specify this. Okay, now let us discuss the operators. Okay, operators in your Python language. Okay, so first type of operator is beta arithmetic, like your maths operators. In this we will study two types, that is unary and binary. Okay, binary means two or more. Unary means one operand, that is a is equals to 10, b is equals to minus 20. Okay, that means we are assigning these values to one operand only. Okay, but here supposedly I am writing a plus b is equals to c. Here two or more than two operands are there. These are known as your binary arithmetic operators, and these are known as your unary arithmetic operators. Okay, so in these binary operators we can have plus, subtraction, multiplication, division, floor division or integer division. Now what is the difference between your single division and double division? Okay, if I am saying 9 divided by 2, and if I am saying 9 2 times divide, this is known as floor division and then 2. So when I am dividing it like this, I will get the output 4.5. But when I am dividing it as a floor division, I will get the answer as 5. So that means in floor division we are going to round off the number to the nearest positive or the complete integer. Alright, so supposedly we are dividing 8 by 3, and here also I am dividing 8 by 3. Alright, so what I am going to get? 2 point something, right? So beta, here I am going to get 2.6, right? Okay, but if you are floor dividing, that means you are dividing it to the integer level, then the answer is going to be 3 only. So I am going to round off this 2.6. Okay, and you all know that if after decimal you have a value 5 or greater than 5, then what you have to do, you have to convert it into the next integer. Alright, if below than 5, then the previous integer. If it would be 2.3, then you have to make it 2 only. Alright, so this was about your arithmetic operators. Now coming to the second category of your operators, that is string operators. Okay beta, there are two types of string operators, multiply and concatenation, that is plus symbol. Concatenation means joining, okay, and this multiply means replication. Okay, for example, you are writing a plus b, so it will be written as ab. Okay, and if you are writing a star 3, let me tell you one thing here, that if you have to replicate a particular string, then you have to always multiply it with a numeric value, because this value will determine how many times a particular string is going to be replicated. Okay, so a into 3 means a will be multiplied or replicated 3 times. Okay, so this was your string operators. Next is beta assignment operator. Okay, next is your assignment operator. Assignment means that you are assigning some kind of value to this. For example, a is equals to 10. Here value 10 is assigned to value to a variable a. Okay, and that is why in the next, that is your relational operators. Relational operators. Relational operators are those operators which will give you some kind of relation between two or more entities. Alright, it can be less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, not equal to, and equals to. So why I am writing equals to here? Because single equal is already been taken by the assignment operator. It is fixed by the Python. Okay, so for equating two things like 10 is equals to 10, if this I have to write, then I have to use this double equals sign. Okay, and this is a relational operator. For example, if I ask this simple question that out of these two, which one is the relational operator? Okay, out of these two, which one is your relational operator? Then answer will be this one. Okay, and supposedly the question is which one of these is an assignment operator? Then the answer is this. Okay, so you have to remember the difference between these two. Okay, now let us discuss the logical operators. Okay, logical operators. What are these? There are 3 types of logical operators: and, or, and not. Okay, and means both the value should result in true. If this statement and this statement are true, then only the result will be true. Okay, suppose I ask you and you stand up, so both of you are supposed to stand up. Okay, there is no option here, but here if any one of these is true, the result can be true. Okay, for example, if I ask you or you come here, that means I am giving you option that one of you can come, right? Not means when both of these will be false, then only the situation will be marked as true, because you don't want this also to be true, this also to be true, then only your whole agenda will be true. Understood? Not means none of you. Okay, if I am saying none of you will come out, that means you are not supposed to exit the room, because I have used the not word. Okay, so this is known as your logical operator, and, or, and not. Right? Next is beta precedence of operator. Precedence of operator is nothing but the order of evaluation. How the order of evaluation? Like in maths you have the Bodmer's rule. Like if in one equation you have a bracket and a subtract, okay, you have a bracket also and you have this symbol also, then which will be evaluated first? This will be evaluated first and this will be evaluated second, and the order is from here to here. So here also in these operators we have the precedence, like first the brackets or the parenthesis will be solved, then the exponent will be solved, then the unary operator, unary arithmetic, that means plus value or negative values will be taken, then your plus, mode, single division or floor division. Now what is this mode here? This is going to give you beta remainder. Okay, like for example 10 mode 5, so the answer is going to be 0 because it is completely divisible. So this will give you the remainder. Okay, so precedence of operators you have to learn from the table which is given in your book, right? Next is comments in Python. Okay, next we have comments in Python. Beta comments can be single line or multiple line. Now first let me tell you what are these comments. These are the extra or non-executable And non-executable means that while running, these statements will not be compiled or executed. These are the extra or non-executable information, okay, and this can be done single line or multi-line. Now what is the significance of writing this? For example, I'm doing some project in a particular software, okay, but now I am on the other project and someone else is handling my own previous project. So rather than making that person get confused, what I can do is, after particular interval, I can give some kind of description of what procedures I have followed, for what reason I have started this loop, etc. Okay, so that my code will be self-explanatory to the other person, right? So this information can be added in single line or multi-line. For single line, I will use this line hash. Now, for example, a is equals to 10 I am writing, and I am writing b is equals to a plus 20. Okay, now in front of b I am putting this symbol hash. So after this, when the program will start executing, when it will come here, it will not execute this, because it will see this symbol first and then it will leave this line as an extra information that is non-executable. Alright, so single line comments can be added, but if you want to write some kind of detailed information, then you have to use this multi-line format. Okay, in this multi-line you have to use 3 times double quotes in the starting and then in the ending, and then in between you can write as much as information that you want to write. So this was all about your comments. Next is beta control structures. Okay, control structures. There are 3 types of control structures. First is your sequential, second is your conditional, and third is your iterative. Okay, sequential means, suppose I am writing a is equals to 10, b is equals to 20, c is equals to a plus b, print c. Okay, so here the control will first come here, then it will be transferred here, here, and then stop. Okay, so there was a particular sequence that was being followed here, but in conditional there will be some kind of test. Some kind of test will be there which will result in either yes or in no. For example, a is equals to 10. If a is less than 100, print a. Print a is equals to a plus 1. Alright, now here what I am going to do is, here this condition will be tested, then only the program flow will go to the next statement. Okay, so this is known as your conditional control structure. Third one is your iterative. In the same program, I have written here a is equals to a plus 1. That means after printing the value of a, that was 10 initially, now I am incrementing the value of a with 1. Now the value of a is 11. Okay, now it is 11 is again less than 100, so 11 will be printed. Now again it will become 12 and so on, until and unless the value of a is 100, the loop will go on. Okay, so this kind of statement where a loop is there, okay, when the same set of statements are repeated again and again, this is known as your iterative control structure. So loop means this, when you are changing some kind of value and the same thing is getting repeated again and again. Okay, so until and unless it was a test condition, it was this conditional control structure, and when the same set of instructions are repeated again and again, then it has become your iterative. Iteration means loop or repetition. Okay, so this is known as your control structures. Now beta coming to conditional statements. Okay, conditional statements, in this we have to learn the flow charts. Okay, I am telling you brief about these flow charts. Beta, every flow chart will start with a start symbol. Okay, and then we have to give the input which will be there in a rectangular format, and then we have to check a test condition. Okay, it will result in yes and no. Then we have to print the outputs in the rectangle only, and this whole will come to an stop. Understood? This is the basic format of all the flow charts. Now suppose I ask you to draw a flow chart. Question is, draw a flow chart to check whether phone's battery is charged or not. Okay, now let us see in the above example only how this will fit. Okay, first, if you have to see, and I am giving you this also, that battery will be charged, and we all know this also, that battery is charged when battery percent is equals to 100. Okay, when the percentage of battery is 100, right? So first we have to check here. From this only we are figuring out that what is the percentage of battery. First we have to see this. Okay, so input will be check the battery level. Okay, check the battery level. Now what will be the test? If level, or you can write battery level, is equals to 100 question mark. All right, because greater than 100 it is not possible, equals to will only come here. If it is yes, then we will display the output battery is charged, and else battery is not charged, and then stop. As simple as that. Okay, so this was all about the flow charts in your conditional statements. Okay, this was the condition and it was true or false. Now let me teach you, there are three types of conditional statements, that is if else, and if else. First I am telling you what is the logic of this if else. Okay, beta, if means that like in whenever a teacher is taking your viva, okay, that time what happens is, suppose I ask you what is your name, you reply XYZ anything, then I, instead of giving any result on your answer, I am putting another question. Okay, so that means if condition was there, but in result another if condition has appeared. All right, so this is known as else if question, and in the last, after all the possible else if, as many questions you have asked, last case will be your else part. Okay, let me teach you with the help of examples. If, okay, for example, a is equals to 10, b is equals to 20, and I am writing if a equals to b. See, note it down beta, I am using double equals to here for comparing, right? Then print hello. Alright, so here my values were 10 and 20, which are not at all equal, so nothing will be displayed. That means here no output. No output will be there. Okay, but this example is of if condition. Alright, now in contrast to this if, supposedly I am writing if else. The same code I am writing over here, that is a is equals to 10, b is equals to 20. If a equals to b, print hello, else print bye. Okay, that means if these two values are equal, then I am going to write that hello, and if this condition is false, then I have given some else part also that will be executed once this statement will result in false. Okay, so this is if else, where if the condition is false, I have given some output here also. Okay, now apart from this, if any new question appears, for example, you are calling, okay, you are calling in an supposedly Airtel office or any Airtel operator you are calling, right? Then what options do we get? For 1 we have to choose English, for 2 we have to choose suppose Hindi,